What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Dangle Bet Sally, powered by FTN Bets, Game Plus Network, and Points Bet Canada. Chris Meaney and the Eric Young here with you for the next little bit. Busy night in the NHL. We're going to break it all down for you, take your fantasy hockey questions, any other questions that you guys have as well. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us live on our FTN Network YouTube page. A little bit late here. Running the show, so our apologies, but of course on Game Plus Network, we're super thrilled to be part of the lineup. Fantastic lineup over there, and we're happy with our partnership. EY, my true fantasy hockey psycho, looking like he got into a fight on the ice last night. What's going on, good sir? How are you, man?
Yeah, a bit of a boo-boo on the head, but I'm not going on the IR. I'm still playing on your left wing, buddy.
Oh, baby, let's go. Okay, a lot of hockey here. I see some comments, see some questions. This is fantastic. Joey in the house here went 8 for 8 on props after this stream last week. Then the Rangers money line screwed me out of a gazillion dollars. Classic. Yeah, the Rangers have killed me too over the past couple weeks. Don't they have they had a couple soft matchups that they lost, right? And they lose to the Sharks the other night, and then I think I lost to somebody else that I thought that they should have won. But nice to see you went 8 for 8 after the stream. We're happy about that. Hopefully we can carry over. EY had like 40 goal scorers. I think he called 30 of them. I don't know, man. You were texting me like Robertson, like everybody was just, it was crazy. I think between us, we may have called 40 out of 55. I know that you gave 44 goal scorers. It was jokes. It was in stitches for the entire week. I was watching back that clip nonstop. It was so good. It was gold. But shout out to you because you did call Nick Robertson of the Leafs to have a good game, a breakout game. And not only did he scored twice, and one was the overtime winner. I thought he looked okay last night on the second line as well with John Tavares and William.
Hopefully someone found good odds and put a couple bucks on that. I did last minute and cashed in pretty good, man. Look, when I give you these lists, I'm just saying, here's a list of people that I think are going to score. I'm not telling you to bet on every single one of them. I'm just telling you these are the ones that I think are going to score. Pick up a couple of your favorites. I mean, pick them all if you want. You know, I'm not betting big money on these. But I think I bet, I think I said 34 guys and I had 15. So, I mean, if you can do that.
Pretty good.
I mean, it's an insane night. You had an insane night if you bet on all those guys. I did bet on all of them. And, my bankroll did not look as bad as it did before we going into that game. So I'm setting up the props, the goal scorers for today. I got a couple more to punch in, but I got another doozy here for you guys. Doozy.
I absolutely love it. I really do. A lot of games to get to. We'll get to them in just a second. So last night was pretty good. It's been hit or miss. Honestly, it's been very inconsistent. It's just the first couple weeks of the season. Books have adjusted with shot props. There's a lot of people that are 3.5, 2.5s are juice. We've had some fun with some same game parlays over at ftnbets.com. Last night we hit one in the tracker at plus 650. I saw a couple green screens in our Discord. One, I believe at 18 or 19 to 1. What we had in that one was just the Hurricanes, 5 or 6 players to get a point against the Canucks. We were heavily in on the Hurricanes last night, 2 units, money line, a unit to win in 60, and then half a unit to win on the puck line. And man, I thought they should have had a couple empty net goals last night, but we did have a same game parlay. We talked about it last week. Available, I believe, at Bet365 only. I think some other books are starting to flirt with same game parlays, but you can add points and shots over at 365. For example, last night we had Natchez, Sveshnikov, Aho, Teravainen, and Seth Jarvis for a point. I think some people sprinkled in Brett Burns for a point, maybe shot props on Aho and Sveshnikov and things like that. On Mean Streets, we did go 4-5 for a shot prop. So hopefully we can carry over, because I'll be honest, it hasn't been the best start, but we're still just a couple weeks into the season. This is week 3 of fantasy hockey season. We're starting to get some data on certain players and things like that. So hopefully we can get on a bit of a run. If you guys are just stumbling across the show, we appreciate your support so much. The show is available on iTunes and Spotify, live on our FTN Network page. Obviously, smash that like button if you can, and of course on Game Plus Network. And if you're watching on Game Plus and you have any questions for us, fantasy hockey, NHL, betting questions, anything, at the Eric Young, at Chris Meaney. If you want to be part of the FTN family, ftnbets.com/pricing, a link inside the description of this video. Use a promo code Meaney, save yourself 20%. Our betting package you can get annually for the year, you can get monthly, but everything is included in that package. Picks across all sports, and they're all happening here in the month of October. And you can get them from everybody over at FTN Bets, Discord, projections, tools, all that good stuff. With that out of the way, let's get into it. Let's start with tonight's action in the NHL. We got a lot of games. To get to here. Let's see. Where do we start? Let's start in Boston with the Bees and the Stars. Last night I was on Dallas. I thought that they would win. I had this feeling when I made the bet early in the morning that it wouldn't be Jake Ottinger. Right? With the back-to-back, they'd go Jake Ottinger tonight, and that's what they're doing against the Bruins. The Sens have won 4 straight. Josh Norris going to miss a little bit of time. Don't know how much. He's going for an MRI on his wrist. He could be out for a few weeks. It's possible. But the Sens keep winning, but they're off the schedule here tonight. Dallas in the second half of a back-to-back, they are checking in at plus 135, and the Bruins are minus 150 here tonight. Jake Ottinger on the left, as you see, and David Pastrnak continues to be a shot prop darling, this guy. What you got for this game? What do you like? Who do you don't like?
Pasta's been awesome, man. It comes as no surprise. Another contract year and another guy that has always been a good player and then has the motivation of setting up for the rest of his life. So, yeah, I got Pasta to score tonight, and I've really liked DeBrusk playing for Boston. Was start of the year last year. He's playing on the fourth line. He's barely playing. You can see his confidence grow. Now, he's playing power play time. He's playing on the top line. He's a really good player, and he's at plus 220 to score. So I love that. And I got Robertson and Sagan. And Sagan kind of looks like his old self, and that's really good news for the Dallas Stars. Ottinger is one of the best goalies in the league. If I was going to lean, I would lean that Dallas wins here tonight just because of the goaltending.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking them too as a dog. It is tough in the second half of a back-to-back, but Jake Ottinger, he really is so good. He's just phenomenal, right? He can keep them in the game. I don't know if this one will be a high-scoring affair. I like Pasta as well. I mean, we're still getting 4.5 for Pastrnak. It was a little late here going, so just bear with me for a second. I wanted to get some actual statistics and numbers for you guys, and I will. 5-5. I'll go to all strengths here. Shot attempts. I still believe he's leading the NHL in shot attempts. Matthews had a few last night. Oh, Austin Matthews, only 1 game through 7. No reasons to be concerned. Just is what it is, right, EY? This guy's not going to score every night.
Yep.
Okay. Pastrnak, 66 shot attempts. Roman Josi leads the way with 70. But Pastrnak in 6 games has 37 shots. So, we've been lucky a couple times with Pastrnak. When he gets on the power play, that's when he gets most of his shot attempts in overtime last night. But his first few games, 6, 5, 8, 5, 8, and 5. He's got 4 goals and 10 points here through the first 6 games of the season. I just don't know how we don't go back to him. You know what I mean? 4.5. It's not plus money. It's minus 105. Assist is minus 110. I have been riding the David Pastrnak assist train, but as we talked about with Jake Ottinger, I think, maybe not tonight, but he does have 6 apples. It's something to keep an eye on with these goal scorers. And I know we've said it a few times in the show, like Matthews, Ovechkin, Pastrnak. These guys are snipers, and we know that they're snipers, but there's really good value for them to get an assist. And, for a guy that shoots the puck as much as both of those guys and Pastrnak and Matthews, sometimes it's a rebound, anything, and you get an assist. So 6 apples on the season through 6 games, and usually plus money for an assist, but minus 110 here. I like the Jake DeBrusk call. It's another guy we've been riding here. I'm not seeing anything for a shot prop, unfortunately, for Jake DeBrusk. I don't know if anybody can see on their books, but I will be in on Jake DeBrusk for a shot prop. He's had at least 4 in 4 straight games, and he's cleared in every single game that he's played so far this season. And his ice time has jumped up 18-22, 19-52, 21 minutes, 20 minutes in his last couple games. Brad Marchand's actually practicing. He'll probably be back pretty soon, but who knows? Maybe Hall's the odd man out in the top 6, and maybe Pastrnak just kind of sticks up there. It's very possible, but I'll write down Pasta and I'll write down DeBrusk. One other guy that I wanted to mention for people in fantasy hockey leagues, because there's been a couple defensemen that have gone down lately. Ekblad's going to miss some time. Quinn Hughes is sidelined here. Matt Grzelcyk, I think he's going to quarterback the power play until, Hampus Lindholm's had some moments, but he's not doing a whole lot, and Charlie McAvoy is out for a bit. So Grzelcyk's played 2 games. He's got 2 assists. He's got 7 shots. He's not a big hitter, not going to block a ton of shots. He did get 4 blocks in that first game. 20 minutes and 19 minutes. Somebody to keep an eye on maybe moving forward. Adam checks in. Miro Heiskanen has hit in 4 of his last 5 games. So, yeah, he's. I didn't think about going that way with him for a shot prop, but yeah, I mean the proof is right there. He is hitting, but I think Grizzlick is interesting in deeper formats. Let's get to some of these comments. DeBrusque at 3.5. 3.5. Wow, he's moving. I mean, books are catching on. They're throwing a lot of 3.5s out there.
Yep.
It's getting tough to adjust, but I think we can get some 2.5s. That's a little high for me, Adam. I don't know where you're at for 3.5. Dallas isn't a team that gives up a whole lot. 4 is tough to ask. I don't know if I'm totally in on it. Jason Prince, Meaney and the Madman. Hey, EY, you ending the show with another big hit, big list.
You know it.
Yes, you know it. He is. Adam, none of the Dallas forwards had over 18 minutes of ice last night, so just assume they will, tired on a back-to-back, and then they get their best goalie, might go Dallas money line. I think we're all on the same page here. Dallas money line is pretty interesting as a potential upset with their stud, right? Yeah, and they've been rolling lines. So good for them. Brendan Montour over 1.5 minus 135. Yeah, I do like that. Been riding Forsling here. We'll get to that game in just a little bit. Emmerich in the house. What's up, guys? Thanks again for the goal scorers. I got Palat, Couture, and Mantha last Thursday. Ready for it all again tonight. That's awesome. Love to see some people having some success. Who says wrestling is fake? Real life injuries from Adam Renkep in there. Troy was in the house early waiting for us. Do you guys think the Columbus Blue Jackets are trending up? We are pulling all these results without Line. Also heard rumors Blue Jackets are in for Ethan Bear, but Carolina's asking too much. Who do you think are players that are currently breaking out besides Rasmus Dahlin? We can get to that in a little bit. Troy, breakout. Why don't we just do Columbus and Arizona right now? I don't think we have a board for them. We have the Blue Jackets checking in at minus 208. The Coyotes at plus 180. The over-under for a lot of these games today are 6. We do have a 7 in Montreal we'll get to in just a little bit. But yeah, the Blue Jackets are playing good, man. Without Line, they're finding a way to get it done. What do you make of them, and do you like them tonight against Arizona?
Yeah, I know it'll make Troy very happy that the Blue Jackets are a pretty competitive team, and they're doing this without Patrick Laine. You know, it will improve when he comes back. I don't know when that's going to be. I haven't heard any news yet, but he's on the IR. Arizona is, I think they are what we thought they were. That doesn't mean that there's not fantasy value or even good places to wager. So I still like Keller here at plus 155 to score. He's the offensive guy that most of the offense is going to flow through him. A pretty unknown player as far as the NHL goes, but a very, very good player. Just has played on some really terrible teams in Arizona. And Lawson Krause. Lawson Krause is playing on the top line and playing second power play time. He's plus 275 to score. I mean, playing on that line with Keller, playing on the power play time. These guys are still NHL level players. They're still very good players. And some of the Arizona games I've got, like you can really see Krause is playing with some real confidence. This happens when guys get bumped up and are put in a position to succeed. You know, he's got confidence. The coaching staff obviously has confidence in him, and you're seeing it in his playing time and his deployment. So that's a guy that I really like. Boone Jenner is having a great year already, plus 160 to score. And Chikhanov, a pretty unknown player for Columbus, a guy that I think is going to score a ton of goals for them and only get better as the year goes. He's playing on the third line, but he's playing some power play time as well. And Columbus plays all their players on a pretty even timeshare there.
Yeah, they really do. There's been, a couple guys that have been hitting consistently for the Columbus Blue Jackets. One guy is Boone Jenner that you mentioned. Another guy is Zach Werenski. Zach Werenski's got 50 shot attempts through his first, how many games he played? 7. That's the 7th most in the NHL. I know he's played 7 games. Some teams have played, 5 and 6, but he's got 26 shots. Boone Jenner is minus 140. I mean, the days of plus money is probably gone with him. Minus 140 is okay. It's fine. He's plus 145 for an assist. What is he for a point? Because I think minus 152 for a point. I don't know. It's a bit much. Plus 145 for an assist, I don't mind. But Zach Werenski, like, what are we going to get here? Is he still stuck on 2.5 shots? No, he's at 3.5 plus money. I think he's interesting. Obviously, I just mentioned he's among the leaders in shots. He does lead the Blue Jackets in shots with 26. 4, 4, 3, 5, 5, 3, and 2 in his last few games. He plays 24, 25 minutes a night. He has a game with 27 minutes. So he's certainly a guy to definitely consider. I think my sneaky goal scorer in this game may be Kent Johnson. He's got goals in back-to-back games. Yeah, he's what can we get for odds for Kent Johnson? He's a nice little young buck rookie. At plus 330 for Kent Johnson goal here tonight. Why not, right? It is Arizona after all. The Coyotes are not great at the game of hockey. I believe they are leading the league in shot attempts allowed and shots allowed. They're actually right there with Columbus. It could be a high eventful game here today. We could maybe see some goals, even on Arizona's side of things. One guy that I noticed, I was looking at our Fantrax league the other day, was, and I think you brought up, did you bring him up a couple weeks ago, was Brett Ritchie?
Oh, yeah.
Or not Brett Ritchie. Nick Ritchie. Nick Ritchie.
Said you can't hope to stop him, only hope to contain him.
So the guy got 6.5 minutes of power play time the other night. It's like, good for him, right? They're lacking guys. So I was
big
looking
body
at our
stand in front of the net, right?
He's like, he makes $2.4 million. I mean, he's not doing a whole lot, but he's got 3 goals, 10 shots. Like in that format where he's cheap and the rosters are so big, I was just taking a look at his game log and I'm like, holy crap. Like, I mean, give me a guy that's getting anywhere from 3 to 6 minutes of power play time a night, even if it is the guy like Nick Ritchie. Anyways, I think we're done with that game. I like the Blue Jackets. I consider them in 60 to win in 60 here tonight. What can we get for 60? Probably not spectacular. Minus 140. It's not awful. CBJ minus 140 in 60. Blue Jackets playing good, Troy. Hanging around. We'll get to that, maybe that breakout in just a little bit. Maybe we'll roll through some teams we like potential. We can throw out some breakout candidates. I think Kent Johnson's one of them. I know it's just tough to call a rookie a breakout. Adam Shamsky in the house, of course, our guy, Adam. It's like Christmas morning whenever Matthew Tkachuk is playing. Yeah, he's been hitting consistently. Do you guys think the Islanders are washed up? I mean, I'm not crazy about the Islanders. I don't think they're that
Never
good
been crazy about the Islanders.
I mean, I love Noah Dobson. They're strong in goal. Sorokin. I love Wallstrom. I mean, he's had a decent start to the season. Barzal is just, I don't know, he's a nice little player. I don't think he's a significant game changer. I don't know. Too early to tell. The Devils' loss was bad, but losing to Tampa and Florida isn't something to raise alarms. Yeah, the Devils, well, they lost to Washington last night. I mean, they've been pushing the pace. They've been they're first or second in shot attempts and scoring chances and high danger chances. They really are, but I think Washington was the best team they've faced, and they got waxed last night, and I still have a lot of questions about their goaltending. Columbus destroys the Isles Sunday. Would you start packing? EY, hope you're okay. Notice the bandage. EY's fine. He's a tough dude here. I think we got through most of the early comments. Good call, Adam. Gostisbehere is somebody I wanted to bring up. I felt weird about putting him in the bet tracker over the past couple weeks because he was minus 140, minus 150 for 2 shots. Books have now moved him to 2.5. 2.5. That's a good price here for Ghost. 2.5 shots plus 120 over at Caesars. I think that's a pretty good. I think it's pretty solid. Not bad at all. Our guy Kenneth Lee. Man, he was up early or late last night. He put in plus 142 for 3 shots, so it's moved down quite a bit. He's also minus 110 for a point. Shane Gostisbehere is looking like the Shane Gostisbehere when he burst on the scene with the Flyers, UI.
Yeah, he's a very important player for this team, right? With the Chikrin not playing. He's playing top minutes, playing top power play. Has always been able to skate, wasn't quite the skater he was after the injury, but it feels like he's kind of turning back into that player. And Arizona needs him to be that guy. I mean, they have nobody else.
Yeah, I'm definitely in on Ghost. There's a couple things I like here. So far, past to Nebraska, I got Jason Robertson 2.5 minus 120 hit for us last night. I do like him. It's a good price. Boone Jenner 2.5 is a little steep at minus 140. I think Werenski's in play at 4, but I like Ghost as well at 2.5 shots at plus 120. His last few games, 5-5. He's actually had 4 shots, at least 4 shots in 4 of his 5 games. And he's played at least 22 minutes in every single one of those games as well. And he does have 2 goals and 5 points if you wanted to sprinkle a little bit on the point at minus 110. Let's keep things rolling here. Montreal and Minnesota, the Habs check in at plus 180 currently live. Use our prop shop parlay calculator. Free tools over at ftnbets.com. Links inside the description of this video to get the best possible odds. I'm seeing plus 180 for the Habs at home if you want to back them, and Minnesota at minus 195. The goal total has actually moved to 8. Or 7, sorry. Jake Allen is good. Jake Allen's great, guys. Like, he is a really good goalie. He's been keeping the Habs in games. Montreal's actually kind of pushing the pace offensively. They got some guys, man. I've said this from day one. I know we laughed at their defense to start, and there's a lot of holes defensively, but Monahan's playing good up in the top line with Suzuki and Caulfield. They're getting contributions from Kirby Dach. The fourth line is like Dadonov, who's a former 20-30 goal scorer. Like, they got players who can put the puck in the net up and down the lineup, but the defense certainly does have some holes. How about the holes for Minnesota defensively? What the heck is going on with this team? They can't keep the puck out of their net. Just Fleury bounce back tonight. I don't know, man. The old me would easily just be like, wild puck line, winning 60. I think the Habs could hang in this game. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. St. Louis is just completely reversed the fortunes of this team. Yes, I made fun of the defense, and it was just a bunch of no-name guys.
How about Arbor Jacki? How about Mr. Wi-Fi? This guy is.
Wi-Fi.
Did you see
Zach Cassian?
You saw that? I know
ragdolled him. Oh man,
he did. And the most searched hockey player last week at Hockey Reference was Arbor Jacki.
Yeah.
Number 2 was like McDavid. Number 3 was like Matthews. It's like all studs, but number 1 was Arbor Jacki. Yeah, it's like a junior B hockey player that's playing in the show.
Yeah. Working at Costco, like.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And he's all right in a bangers league, right? I mean, he's going to drop the gloves. He can fight. Like, he really can fight.
I had no idea. Like, I didn't know who this guy was, and I saw a clip. It was like, Wi-Fi, Knuckles, Cassian. I'm like, I mean, Cassian's a tough dude. How one-sided was this? I mean, he ragdolled him. He ragdolled him.
And he ragdolled a couple guys in the preseason.
Dude, a big dude.
Oh, he schooled him. And before the game, like a little inside thing. So if the fight, like, he went right at him. So Michael Bizzetta, who's the fighter for the Habs last year, he hasn't really played this season. He told him before the game, like, Cassian is a trained fighter. Like, if you're going to drop the gloves with him, just go right at him. And you could see it when they dropped. Like, Cassian was like, getting rid of the elbow pads, and like, he just didn't. He's like, I'm going right at him. Like, he just kind of like jumped them, and it worked out for him. But for this game, I mean, with a total of 7, we could see some offense, right? Like, Fleury hasn't been good. Minnesota can push the pace. I think ultimately Minnesota wins this game. Like, they're deeper on the blue line. They're certainly deeper up front, and it's just really about the goaltending. Adam says Laine practicing this morning. Troy, oh baby, get ready to activate him off the IR. I mean, he only played 7 minutes and he had 2 shots and a goal with Johnny Hockey. So there's a lot of reasons to get excited about Laine, and Johnny Hockey looks fantastic in the Blue Jackets jersey as well. Let's call some goal scorers. What do you got in this game?
I got Caulfield at plus 155 and Gallagher at 265. Gallagher's looked really good. Obviously it's a super important player for this team, and is a guy that is going to be on the ice in tons of different situations. So I like that. Kaprizov, look, you're not going to make any money, but that's the offense is going to flow through him. He's a stud. Maybe put him in a parlay with guys that have a kind of a higher or a lower level of return. Maybe you could put him and someone like McKinnon and Kachuk in a 3-way parlay and make a little bit. I like that. And I've also got Zuccarello. He's been playing really good hockey for Minnesota, plus 220, playing on that top line, playing on the top power play. I mean, he's kind of the forgotten guy. And the reality is I think that line in the Minnesota Wild, they go as Zuccarello goes.
Right. Yeah. I'm in on Zuccarello as well. He's got a point in every game. He's cleared 2.5 shots in every game. 4, 3, 5, 7, and 3. He's minus 114 for 2.5 shots. And he's plus 160 for 2 points. I mean, he's got 3 multi-point games in the season. He's had at least 3 points in 2 games as well. He's played 21 minutes in every single game. Yeah, I like him quite a bit. There's a little bit of value there when it comes to Matt Zuccarello. I got Caulfield for 2.5 shots. He is juice. You probably have to put him into a parlay with somebody else. Maybe we'll find somebody else who's juice. Like last night, we had Svechnikov and Crosby. That's the thing with the books, right? They're either pushing guys to 3.5, 4.5, or they're giving you minus 180, minus 190 on a guy that you can't take as a single, and you got to risk it in a parlay. But it worked out yesterday with Svesh and Crosby. Maybe we can do Cole Caulfield and somebody else. But Matt Zuccarello here, 2.5 shots. I'm interested and maybe take a little sprinkle on the 2 points and minus 110 for a power play point. I don't know. It's not great. How about Cale Addison? I want to talk about him for a second. Kalen Addison. He's taken over the top power play spot in Minnesota. Not seeing anything for odds, unfortunately. I think he's a good pickup. I think he's a good pickup in season long. I've made the switch in a couple spots. I like Jared Spurgeon. He can offer you a little bit more in bangers leagues. He's going to give you a little bit more in shots and hits and blocks. But Kalen Addison here has 6 assists on the season, and 4 of them have been on the power play. It's a really good power play, guys. The Minnesota power play is fantastic. Joel Eriksson Ek, and he's also in play for 2.5 shots tonight. He's in front. Kaprizov, Zuccarello, Addison there. I think he's interesting at DFS, and I think he's a good pickup if you're shorthanded defensively. If you lost Hughes or Ekblad and things like that. I think we're good to move on. I don't think there is anything else I wanted to add. What's Kaprizov? He's probably minus money for 4 shots. He's minus 117 for 4 shots. I think it's okay, but I think Zuccarello is in a pretty good spot. We catch up on some of the comments. Appreciate everybody hanging out here, guys. Smash that like button if you can. Dustin Zuccarello over 2.5 is his big bet of the night. Okay. All right. We dig it. I'm in on that one. Kaprizov, FanDuel, bit off market, much better odds there. Punch Face, VIP, like the name. Columbus, 32nd in power play percentage. That's due to regress or progress, I guess. Yeah, regress the other way, sure. 32nd dead last power play percentage with a guy like Johnny Hockey. That'll turn around. All they need is Patrick Laine on the half board to rip a couple in. That'll change in a hurry. Adam says half units on both Zook and Kaprizov over 1.5 points. Beat me to it means. Love it. Love it. We're always on the same page here, right? That's what we love about our viewers, our subs over at FTN. All super sharp. Love the
coolest part of the show,
created.
Man. It is the really chat is. And the fact that, we've got the same group of hardcore kind of like hockey lunatics like us. And it seems to grow kind of like each and every show. So can't thank you guys enough. It's the highlight of my week for sure. Being in here, hockey is my favorite sport, and to get to chat with these super sharp people, just everyone's making everyone better, and that's what I love.
Yeah, it is a community, and I love that as well, guys. Troy Laine is ahead of schedule, taking one-timers already. He's coming back for Finland games versus the Avalanche. I love it. Absolutely love it, Troy. Exciting times for the Blue Jackets, right? It's like Montreal, right? Expectations are not high, but when you win a couple games and they're playing good, you feel better about your squad. Let's continue to move along. Detroit and New Jersey here is basically a pick 'em. We have the Wings at home at minus 105. If you want to back New Jersey, they're minus 110, and the total at 6.5. I think we'll see some goals. I don't believe 6.5 will last for long. In fact, I am seeing some 7. 6.5 is actually juice to the over. But we said earlier, right? Last night hit this one, the over in New Jersey and Washington. The Devils are just going to be one of those teams that they just play high event hockey. They push the pace. They have some guys that like to shoot the puck, and they just don't have strong goaltending, and they're on the second half of a back-to-back. So there's a couple guys that I have noticed here. One guy that I wrote up over the weekend was Dominic Kubalik of the Detroit Red Wings. He had a fun little revenge game against the Blackhawks over the weekend. I streamed him because he played on Friday and he played on Sunday. And, the article is live over at ftnfantasy.com if you're looking for season-long stuff. I like to attack the schedule in my head-to-head leagues. So I like to get guys that play on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, because you always have tough decisions to make on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. It's like everybody's playing. You got to sit good guys. So those average players that don't get my lineups, I swap them out. So I stream Kubalik, and I'm going to keep him because Jacob Brana is away from the team for a little bit. Who knows how long? And Kubalik, I think, was a great little addition from Detroit. I mean, Chicago just gave up on everybody. Like, there was really no reason for them to move on from Kubalik or Kirby Doc. Like, these are both young players. Like, what are you doing? Rebuild with these young players. Don't get rid of everybody. Anyways, Kubalik, as a rookie, I think he scored 30 goals. Yeah, 30 goals, 46 points as a rookie, volume shooter. Only 17 in his sophomore season, but he only played 58 last year in 78 games. So far this season, in 5 games, EY, he's got 8 points, 3 goals, and 14 shots. He's been playing really good. He's up on that top line with Larkin, and the last game, David Perron played on that line as well. So I'm interested in Kubalik for like a point. We put him in the bet tracker the other night for a point, plus 115 for a point. He's plus 178 for an assist. I don't see any shot props. Oh, here we go. Adam is on it as well. Kubalik points and shots. He says he has found Kubalik over at Bovada, 2.5 shots at plus 129. So yeah, he's cleared it in 3 straight games. He's got 13 shots in his last 3 since the promotion, right? 11 minutes, 12 minutes in games 1 and 2, 19, 16, and 15. That's the guy that I'm interested in tonight. And I probably will go back to Jack Hughes. I think we could see some goals here. You probably are going to call a couple from this game.
Yeah, I think this game could be very high scoring. I mean,
yes.
Neither goalie. I read a stat the other day saying that New Jersey was one of the teams with the lowest shots allowed. I think, and you put up something about Mackenzie Blackwood. The kind of he had a run at the end of last year. Got hurt, whatever. Is back. I don't know what they're doing in goal there. I don't think anybody does. But I like Larkin to score a plus 155. David Perron is just been a sneaky good player his entire career, and playing on that top line. I really like him to score. Jack Hughes at 160 has been good, and I think we'll just continue to get better and better. And Palat is a guy that I hammered last week. He was on my list of madness, and he's on my list of madness again.
I love it. I am going to go with Hughes to score. I think Sharon Govich is sneaky. He was all over it yesterday too. Kubalik and Hughes are kind of my guys here. Kubalik for a point, minus 115. Hughes is plus 124 for an assist. I didn't get that one yesterday. I think we'll see another 6 or 7 goals in this game. And I don't mind going back to Hughes too at 3.5. Laine's back in tonight. Wow. No, breaking news. Laine tonight. We got to get involved with Laine, don't we? Against Arizona.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's no shot props or anytime goals. Line is going to be on my list for shots, I think. Even coming back in his first game back, Arizona, what a fantastic matchup to get into it. Kubalik is plus 500 for 2 points on Bodog. Let's get nuts, Dustin. Let's get nuts. I definitely in on him to hit the score sheet tonight, and I love the 2.5 of Bovada. Hopefully that, I think it's only a matter of time before other books maybe get him involved, right, in their shot props and things like that. All right, over 6.5. Love it. Hughes, Kubalik. Yeah, it's probably it. Moritz Seider is interesting as well. He finally hit the score sheet the other night. He's a guy that you could probably get plus money for a shot prop if you want, but there's just so much else going on here tonight.
If you're looking for defense, Hronek has been really good this year. He was super important for them before they picked up Seider. Took a bit of a backseat to Seider. I mean, Seider's still the guy there. He's the number one guy, but Hronek has played really well, is playing on the power play, is distributing the puck and playing important minutes for Detroit. So that's a guy that you could look into. He's probably available. I mean, he was probably not drafted anywhere. I've had him. I got him on a couple of my deeper teams, and he's been very, very good for me. Very productive.
Moritz Seider's plus 150 for 3 shots. Like, that is pretty interesting. I know he hasn't been fantastic to start. He's not really shooting. He started off 6 and 3 shots. If you're looking for a massive long shot, I mean, plus 150 is not bad. I'm excited about Laine. I got offered Nick Suzuki for Laine, and it was really tough for me not to take that deal. But I'm already like kind of have too many centers as it is. I just think Laine is in for a big season. Nice to see him back early. Okay, let's continue to move on here. Here we go. Good one. Rangers and Avs. Rangers minus 105, basically a pick 'em. Colorado minus 105 as well, total of 6.5. So, I mean, look at your boy on the left. How about Valerie Nichushkin? How about the goal the other night, an end-to-end goal, basically, the other night against Vegas? He checks in with 11 points on the season, which is just one behind Panarin for the league high. And he's got 6 goals, which is one behind Svechnikov, who scored last night in Stamkos, who has 7, continues to get it done. Valerie Nichushkin, man, he is just such a player, right? It's just crazy to see it. Sometimes it just takes a little bit, right? I mean, the hype that he had in Dallas and a whole year not scoring and healthy scratching and couldn't find ice time in Dallas, goes to Colorado, just a big body, gets it done. Very fun to watch, and just signed that new contract at $6 million, and he may be underpaid.
Yeah. I mean, for what he does too, right? Like, I mean, a lot of people want to just look like, does he score? That's how you get paid in the NHL. Like, it is. But this guy is there was talk of him winning the Selke last season. He's an unbelievable defensive player. Is physical, is strong, can skate, can shoot. You can put him anywhere in the lineup, including the top power play plays, I think, on the second power play. I've got him on my list to score. I got McKinnon. That's a given. Like I said, maybe parlay him with a couple other guys that have lower odds. And Nichushkin is a plus 225. I got Kreider, and I've got Lafreniere playing in the second line and playing power play time. He's looked really good. He hasn't found the back of the net.
Yeah.
He's noticeable. If you watch the Rangers play, you're like, oh, man, who's that? Who's that? Yeah. And then almost every time you say that or think that, for me, it's Lafreniere doing something. This guy's going to turn into a real player. I mean, I'm telling you right now, if you can get him in Dynasty, if you can get him in other places, grab him now, because he's going to be super effective for years to come.
He leads the Rangers in shots at 5-5 this season. He's got 16. Well, he's tied with Mika Zibanejad, but he's got 27 shot attempts, which leads all forwards for the New York Rangers at 5-5. Keandre Miller is number 1, Trouba is number 3, and Mika Zibanejad is in there at 4. He's been very noticeable. I agree. Every single game, he's been putting pucks towards the net. I think it's only a matter of time before he finds the back of the net. This should be a really, really good game. I mean, New York and Colorado, rather. The Rangers have kind of, like we talked about off the top. I mean, I think they burned somebody earlier. We talked about, we've had them in the bet tracker, a couple of back-to-back tough losses, right? To the Sharks and Troy's Columbus Blue Jackets, but they remain home here tonight. It should be a good one. Do you have a side? Who do you think wins this one?
Man, it's tough, man. I love both of these teams. It's just going to be a really good game. Rangers are at home, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I lean Rangers.
Me too.
Shesterkin, he hasn't been great. I'm a guy, I got him all over the place. I reached for him and drafted him very early in a lot of my leagues. I think he gets it done tonight. I think the Rangers win at home.
I think we have to continue to go back to Trocheck. I like the call, Adam, right? We've been putting him in every single game. He's hitting every single game. He's minus 125 or 2.5. I know it's a tougher spot here against the Avs, but why not? Let's just roll with that. If Devon Taves, misses some time, I'm not in on Bowen Byram chop props, but for those who are playing a little bit of DFS, a little bit more ice time for Bowen Byram, up for the Avs. They were rolling 3D on their second power play unit as well. Nichushkin, what's Nichushkin at? So Nichushkin's he's probably juiced up. It's another guy that maybe minus 155. It is juiced a little bit, but maybe that's a parlay right there. Cole Caulfield and Nichushkin, 2 guys that are 2.5 that are a little bit juiced up. Lafreniere to score, like the call into that one as well. And I think that's it. Anytime you guys want to go McKinnon, right? You certainly can. 4.5 is fine. Mika's played much better 5-5 this year, so his 3.5 is still a discount until it gets to 4.5. I would agree with that, but I certainly am in on Trocheck. Let's continue to move along here. I don't think we need to spend too much time on this one. Florida and Chicago. The Panthers are heavy favorites on the road at minus 235. The Blackhawks have hung around with teams over the past couple of games. I put in the bet tracker. It's still minus 160. It's very steep. But I do like the Florida Panthers to win here in 60. And there was a comment earlier, I think it was from Adam, on Matthew Tkachuk. It's like Christmas. Man, did he ever have a freak out the other day? Cost his team the game. Kucherov had the breakaway, and he sticked him, and he shoved him down. What I will say is Kucherov is a pest. He is sneaky dirty. he is sneaky dirty with his stick, and he's chippy, and everything that he gets, I believe that he deserves. But he put his team in a bad spot. He took a penalty in overtime, and then Tampa ends up winning the game, and that's it. But Matthew Tkachuk has been automatic so far in terms of shot props to start. He's plus 105 for 3.5, and I will be taking the over on that because through his first, what has he got, 6 games here, he's had at least 4 shots in every single game, 29, 8 points and 3 goals to start his Florida Panther debut. I'm telling you what, he's doing a lot more than Jonathan Huberdeau is doing in Calgary. I'll take the over on 3.5 for Tkachuk. I like Sam Bennett tonight to hit the score sheet as well. Any plays that you like from this game?
I got Tkachuk in for Hagee to score for Florida, and Athanasiou and Domi. I'm not expecting them to score, but if you're going to bet, like they're playing top line, they're playing top power play, and I just think like they're just 2 players that people are just going to overlook, and with their odds both at plus 275, if someone's going to score, it's going to be one of those 2 guys.
Adam says Kucherov is just plain dirty, not even sneaky. I know he really is, man. Oh my goodness, he kind of drives me nuts when I watch him. Him and Philip Deneau, like Deneau used to just get under his skin so much. When they would like the Habs and the Lightning have played in a lot of playoff battles over the past few years, and Deneau would just get under his skin, and Kucherov is just a little dirty. Him and Malkin get such a pass for their dirty plays. I'll put Gustav Forsling on the list too. He didn't hit in his last game, but I've been looking for him, right? I've talked a lot about Forsling. He's all over the breakout, draft kit, a portion of the draft kit. He stuck on 2 shots in his last game, but he continues to play a ton, 22, 22, 26, 28, 24, and 23 minutes so far this season. He's had at least 3 shots in 1, 2, 3, 4 of his last 5 games. So he's interesting to me. He is plus 110 for 2.5 shots as well. I think the Panthers win. I think you can get involved with them on the puck line if you want to against the Chicago Blackhawks here. Joey says, was just going to say, love the Panthers, and I'm on Tkachuk, but I love Athanasiou, and he had a slow start, but he got a goal recently. Right, like if you're looking here, we know the Panthers play loose. Their defense is very weak. Chicago is kind of hanging around with some teams, as I mentioned earlier. When we broke down this game, Patrick Kane only has 3 assists on the season, but they got wins in 3 straight games, EY. San Jose, Detroit, and Seattle. They've scored at least 4 goals in those 3 games. And Athanasiou and Max Domi are guys that are getting ice time, right? There's just not a lot of guys there. Domi's got 3 goals in the season, back-to-back games of the goal. I like it. Tkachuk 2 points, definitely in play. That one should be plus money. Absolutely. I'm not seeing 2 points, but if your book offers it, great. Matthew Tkachuk is plus 102 for an assist. I like that one as well. Let's keep moving on. We have just a couple more games to get through here. Pittsburgh and Calgary. Pens played last night, and man, what a second period for the Edmonton Oilers. Man, I think they put like 25, 30 shots on goal. They scored a bunch of goals, like 4 unanswered. They were down 3-1. All of a sudden, they went into the third period with the lead. Crosby's face not happy. Don't know if Jake Gensel's going to play. He was a game-time decision last night. He's probably going to be a game-time decision tonight. There was a chance that he could return on this road trip. Tough spot for the Pens here. Second half of the back-to-back to play the Oilers last night and then have to go in and play Calgary. I like the Flames here in this spot. I think we could see the overhit as well. The Pens will do their part. They'll score a couple goals, but we'll see the backup Casey DeSmith in net for the Pens. You got a lean here?
Yeah, I mean, it's Calgary all the way. That when I'm looking through some stuff preparing for the show, seeing that Casey DeSmith is going to be the starter, it's Calgary all the way. I got Lindholm and Toffoli to score. If Gensel plays, I like him to score, and I think I got a feeling he's going to. And I also like Rust. Really good player, has been a really good player for a long time. Him and Malkin have something going there, and he's plus 180. So that's my 2 guys to score.
I like it. I'll go with Crosby. Crosby for 3 shots. When Gensel's sideline, he kind of shoots a little bit more. So he's another guy that's probably going to be juiced. I think Tyler Toffoli's a better play. I'm just not seeing it yet. 2.5 shots. I would roll with Tyler Toffoli. Do you have any concerns here with Jonathan Huberdeau through the first little bit of the season? Would you buy low on Huberdeau? I mean, I think we all agree, me and you and everybody else on this show, that it wasn't going to be the same type of season for him. Playing in Florida, more up-tempo. Really surrounded around better players, to be honest. He's got no goals so far through the season. He's got 5 shots on goal through 5 games, and he's got 4 assists. You're buying low where you can.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's one of the best left wingers in the league. Like you said it great. He's not going to put up the points like he did last year in Florida, because that's just not how Calgary is going to play. No Daryl Sutter team is going to play that way. But he's going to bounce back. I believe in Jonathan Huberdeau. Can skate, great vision, big dude. I don't think people understand. Like, he's a big player, and just is a really, really, really slick player. So yeah, if you can buy low on Jonathan Huberdeau, go ahead and do it now, because he's going to not ever be this cheap anywhere.
I agree. Minus 140 for Sidney Crosby for 2.5 shots. I think Rust is Calgary doesn't give up a whole lot, but I think Rust is in play as well at minus 125 for 2.5 shots. And the Calgary side of things is just I think Kadri can find the back of the net tonight, but I do like Toffoli. He's been hot and he's been shooting, so I'll be looking for a Toffoli shot prop as well. We only have a couple more games, so we're going to say goodbye to Game Plus Network. We're going to finish this show. We only have 2 more games. We want to wrap it up for the people that are hanging out with us. Rasmus Anderson, power play point plus 270 on FanDuel. It's not bad, right? You're looking for some power play production there. I could see it. I usually don't get involved unless it's 270 is fine. 270 is fine. I usually look like plus 350-ish, but I like the 270, right? He is on that first power play unit. They've been messing around a little bit, Hannafin and Uyghur, but Rasmus looks really good on that first unit. It could be a breakout game for Huberdeau, guys. It really could. I'm not saying he's going to get 3 shots here tonight. He's plus 142 for 3. But he's plus 180 for a 2-point night. Like, it could happen. I'd like to be in on it before. Like, those are good odds. That's at DraftKings, plus 165 over at Caesars. A 2-point night here, Pens, second half of back-to-back. It could happen, guys. That might be a little bit of a long shot. I might take Huberdeau at plus 180. We're going to say goodbye to Game Plus Network. We appreciate you guys hanging out. If you want to come back over, watch the end of the show. Eric's going to call about 55 goal scorers. We're going to do that in just a couple minutes, so you can hop on over to our FTN Network YouTube page, listen on iTunes and Spotify. We'll get those goal scorers from EY. So good luck on the ice. FTNbets.com for the latest. All right, let's continue on here. Coaster's Corner in the house. Thanks as always, gents. Just wanted to mention, go Sens, go. Look pretty good. 4 wins in a row. We'll see what they can do without Josh Norris. I wrote up Brassard, just a little thing on Derek Brassard. If you wanted to punt play him last night in DFS on the second line, he did score a goal. Daily handle. EY, anytime goal scores for the last 2 games. Let's go. We will do that here as we wrap up. Okay, Buffalo and Seattle. Man, how about the Sabres? How about our guy, Alex Tuch? And I could say with confidence, he is our guy. We loved the move from the start when he was traded. He was playing third line minutes, second power play minutes with the Vegas Golden Knights. Here with the Buffalo Sabres last season in 50 games, he had 12 goals and 38 points. He was playing a career high 18-21. He was playing a career high 221 on the power play. And so far through 5 games this season, he has 6 goals and 7 points. He has an unsustainable 40% shooting rate, but this guy's a player, man, and he makes things happen every time he's on the ice.
He's such a player, and is just the absolute poster child for Narrative Street, right? Like this, he's this underrated guy that everybody's talking about. Every time you see him on the ice in Vegas, something is happening, and you just keep saying, like, how is he not playing more minutes? How is he not playing more minutes? He gets traded away to Buffalo, who doesn't have a ton of great players. He goes home to play in Buffalo, his childhood team. That he's got this chip on his shoulder because he's never played a ton of minutes. He's never been leaned on as the guy. Buffalo is doing that. He's playing top line. He's taking top power play. He's good all over the ice. He's good at every aspect of hockey, and we're seeing it all pay off for the Buffalo Sabres. I do not ever. All that said, I don't have him to score.
What?
Although he could, I like I like Skinner to score tonight. And a person that is super sneaky and is really putting up points and being super productive for Buffalo is the forgotten guy, and that's Casey Middlestat. A guy that
he has been.
Last year, people are saying this guy's a bust. He's junk. Trade him away. They missed on him in the draft. He's playing a ton of important minutes from Buffalo and is piling up points. And I think he's going very unnoticed, very low owned. Go and get Casey Middlestat. Casey Middlestat scores tonight, plus 295. He's going to be one of my big bets.
Oh, baby. I love it. He was as well in the fantasy hockey article. Last year, I think we chatted about it. He started
Yep.
to, he only had
started to come
19
on.
points in 40 games. Yeah, he did. I'd like to just take a look quickly, guys. Why not? Just want to take a look at his splits towards the end of last season. I want to feel like he was nearly a point per game player towards the end.
While you're doing
April.
that, I'll just give my two Seattle guys. I've got Schwartz, who's been playing unreal hockey for Seattle, and I got Burakovsky, who's playing important minutes for them, and most importantly, playing on that top power play on the wing.
Yeah, he is playing really good hockey, Burakovsky. So 18 games, his final 18 games, not spectacular, 16 points. His final 28 games, 16 points. So again, not spectacular, but hitting the score sheet, and so far this season, that's exactly what we've seen from him as well. I like the call. Actually, he's got points in 3 straight, 5 points over that span. Not a big volume shooter, but getting time on the power play. He's got power play points in 3 straight games, so that's significant for his upside. But Alex Tuch is sitting here at minus 114, 2.5 shots. He's plus 146 for an assist. And of course, we have to mention Rasmus Dahlin, right? This guy's got a goal in every game so far this season. He is, what's his shot prop at? Got to be at 2.5. Yeah, it's at 2.5. I saw 1.5 at minus 200. I'm like, what are we doing? We're not getting involved with that. But Rasmus Dahlin breakout season, here for it. Goal in every single game. He's got multi-point games in 3 of his last 4. He's got 18 shots in the season. He is 2.5 plus 126. I am seeing over at Caesars. I'm running out of paper to write things on. It's just like, what is happening here? He didn't hit in his last game. He's stuck on 2, but 5-3, 5-3. I like it. I like that top line tonight. They're back together. Skinner, Tage Thompson, and Tuch. You mentioned a couple Blue Jackets player or Kraken players that you like. I like those calls. But I wanted to also throw out Bjorkstrand. He's just, minus 145 is getting a bit much, but I do like him tonight for 3 shots. He has been shooting the puck quite a bit. 6 shots in his last 2 games. In fact, he has at least 6 shots in 4 games this season, and he's getting a lot of ice time. He's getting leaned on. So what do we got here? I think some people will, give me Bjorkstrand 2.5. I think he hits in the first period. We're like Seattle tonight. Buffalo last game on a long West Coast trip. Seattle minus 125 on the money line. Interesting. Yeah, they swept the Canadian teams, Edmonton, Calgary, and Vancouver, right? I don't think anybody saw that coming in the last part of their trip. I feel like I want to ride this out with the Sabres, honestly. I feel like they're feeling themselves a little bit here. No pressure. I see what you're saying. I kind of feel like Buffalo, though, might win this game. You got Dahlin plus 136 this morning. Nice price. Yeah, he's sitting there at plus 126 there now. Means type up all the picks as well. Look at this pad. I don't even know how I'm going to be able to. I don't even know how I'm going to be able to share this after. I can't. I got to put all these in the tracker. Got mean streets in a little bit. Let's go.
These sheets, yours and mine, they should be in like the Smithsonian or something, some kind of an art gallery. Just absolute works of art. I'm the only human being that can read this.
Right.
I have the worst handwriting on earth, and I'm like using abbreviations that only I know. It looks like some kind of secret nuclear code. And it is for your goal scoring to win a bunch of money like me.
I'm going to have to flip it around and go to the other side here. 2 more games to get through.
Yep.
Tampa and LA. The Kings are at home, plus 112. The Lightning are on the road, obviously, at minus 112. The Kings, man, so far you never know what you're going to get with them. Early in the year looked like, it really has been. They rattled off 3 straight wins, 7-6 Minnesota, 5-4 against Detroit, 4-3 against your Preds. And then the last 2 games, they got crushed. They did have that. It's a tough road trip, really. Mini Detroit, Nashville, Pittsburgh, and Washington. They're back home after a long road trip. There may be a little bit of a giddy up in their step, but typically I avoid home teams after a long road trip, especially with Tampa Bay in there as well. So I think the Bolts win this game. I'm interested in the price, right? It's not like it's a steep price here at, what was it, minus 125 for a Tampa Bay win. There's one guy that's just been, there's a lot of different ways you can go here. Stamkos and Kucherov on point, and Hedman. These guys Stamkos has been the most consistent of the bunch, hitting his shot props. He's 3.5. Yeah, he really is. He's leading the NHL in goals. This guy is showing no signs at all of slowing down this season. It's pretty remarkable. He didn't have any shots in his last game, but at least 4 shots in every single game before that one. And he had at least a goal in every single game before that one as well. So I think he kind of gets back on track. So I like Stamkos at 3.5. I'm a sucker for Kempe. You guys know that. 2.5 for Kempe is on my list. I think he actually finds the back of the net tonight as well. Staying away from Fiala. He's a minus 156. So like that's another guy you can put in with Crosby, or you can put in with Cole Caulfield in there as well. Stamkos is juiced at 2.5, but you can get plus 129 for 3.5 shots. You know, Kopitar and Danault are really good defensive forwards. Even though the Kings have given up a lot of goals lately, they're not getting the goaltending. So I'll probably stay away from point. Adam says Stamkos is his bet of the night against the Kings' poor power play. What you got for us, EY?
Yeah, I think LA wins this game. That's okay. Who I'm going with. I just believe, going home and,
they're much better at home too.
Needing the win. I mean, they got to kind of right the ship here. I got Point and Stamkos to score. The bet that I'm going to put the most on is Brandon Hagel to score. He's plus 290. He's playing on the top line, and he's playing the point on the second power play. Yeah. This guy's a really good player. They gave up a ton for him. Everyone thought they were nuts. And I think they really believe in him, and they're putting him in a position to succeed. And I think tonight he does it. And I've got Fiala and Trevor Moore. Trevor Moore's been shooting the puck like crazy. Doesn't have a lot to show for it. But I think that he could get one to go tonight. And he's at plus 310. That's another. I'm going to put a couple bucks on that as well, just because of the odds and because he does shoot the puck a ton. And where he's playing and the players he's playing with, Trevor Moore is a good bet to score tonight.
Fiala breakout, 1 goal, 5 points. Another guy you're buying low on, right?
Oh, yeah. Fiala's an unbelievable player.
I'm seeing him I'm looking right now at his ownership in Yahoo. He's been dropped in leagues over the last 24 hours. It's probably shallow leagues. But he's got 5 points on the season. They all came in 2 games. So he's gone scoreless in 5 games. He's only been over 2 shots in 1 game. So maybe just, change the scenery. Maybe they mix some things up, lines to kind of get him going. But I still believe in him overall as well. I'm not going to get involved with his shot props, but it's only a matter of time before, he breaks out. I think Hedman for an assist is okay at minus 115. I think we could see some goals here in this game. Like, same game parlay stuff we've been doing. Like that may be one for me where I take that top line in LA and I take, Tampa's power play and to kind of get going that way. The final game is in San Jose tonight. The Vegas Golden Knights looked really good last night, I thought, against your Maple Leafs. They pushed the pace. They got good goaltending from Logan Thompson. They've switched up their lines. Our guy, another guy, right? Everybody's our guy, apparently. But Chandler Stevenson. Like, I don't know why nobody wanted to draft this guy. His ownership was like 22% when the season started, and Yahoo was like 10% in ESPN. He had a career season last year. He was placed on the line. They put them all together last night. They had Eichel, Stevenson, and Stone, and then they had the Misfits line back together with William Karlsson. They had Kessel on the third line, which I think is fine. Like, I think that's what they should do. Get Karlsson going with Marchessault and Riley Smith, and then have Stone with Stevenson and Jack Eichel. Even though this is the second half of a back-to-back and the Sharks had the big win against the Rangers, I do believe this is the first game home. Again, it's kind of a rule of thumb for me. I don't like, they went on a 4-game trip. Had some decent wins. They lost to the Islanders. They beat the Rangers. They lost to the Devils in a 2-1 game, and they shut out the Flyers. Reimer was fantastic in that game. But now they go back home for a lengthy home trip. I like Vegas tonight, and I know it could be tricky in the second half of the back-to-back. They're juiced here at minus 175. I'll probably get involved with the 60-minute line. What do we got? Minus 115 to win in 60. Jack Eichel looks great. He looks fantastic. A lot of his shot attempts actually come on the power play, but I still don't mind taking him. Riley Smith did not hit last night. He was stuck on 2. I'm still waiting for a stat correction. I'm so hardcore last night that I had him for 3 shots, and there was a shot from the point from Pietrangelo that he clearly deflected, and it was on net, and they didn't give him the shot, and I'm rattled about it. But I like 2.5 for Riley Smith. Marchessault 2.5. Eichel, Stevenson hits the score sheet. I like Vegas here tonight. On the other side, I gotta say that Erik Karlsson's been pretty good. I said I think maybe last week that he looked finished. He looks pretty decent, man. I mean, he's playing a lot. He's got 6 points on the season. I'm not interested in him scoring tonight or getting a shot prop. I mean, he's only hit it once, but he does look a little bit better. If I'm taking a shark on the other side, it's always going to be Timo Meier. But I'm in on the Golden Knights here tonight. I think they can score 3 or 4.
Yeah, I like the Knights. San Jose is not a very good team, but that doesn't mean that there's not value there. A sneaky, probably maybe DFS player, or if you need some goalie stream, even Aiden Hill, I think, is going to play tonight for Vegas. A guy that I've kind of followed and like just kind of waiting for him to put it together. Big body, super agile. Could be a really good player. I mean, it's obvious Logan Thompson has taken that net and ran with it and has looked really good all season. But I think Aiden Hill's going to play tonight. That could be a good stream in DFS and a guy to pick up and start if you got a goalie injury or something and get a win and get up. San Jose, I think, is the team to do that against. I got Eichel to score and Stevenson, our guy. He's at plus, what did I find him at? Plus 270. Like, Stevenson is a very, very good hockey player. Like you said, career year last year, playing some important minutes with really good players. I love him to score. And I've got Hurdle because I don't know who else to pick. And a sneaky pick of a guy that's playing top line and playing second power play. And when you see, I mean, kind of jumps off the screen, and that's Barabanov. They need him to be a good player. He's not somebody that an average hockey fan even knows, but he's playing on the top line in the second power play on the right wing. He's plus 350. That's another bet that I'm going to put some bucks on tonight.
I love it. I think Marchessault scores tonight. Eichel has only hit once in the last 4 or 5 games, but the shot attempts have been there. So that's why I don't mind going to him at 3.5. He had 6 shots last night. His last few games, 2, 0, 3, and 3. But again, the shot attempts have been there for him. He's another guy, a plus 145 for an assist. Like, he just shouldn't be plus 145 for an assist. So I think he gets an assist tonight, and it's probably going to be on a Stevenson goal, right? Chandler Stevenson finds the back of the net. Eichel's in on it. But I do like Marchessault. And I will go back to Riley Smith. Zoe, Riley Smith shots, 17 exclamation marks there. I'm excited, just like you, dude. He's plus money for 2.5. Again, the shot attempts were there last night. I feel like we got burned, unlucky. That deflection could have gone our way. Just the statisticians, sometimes they miss these things. But he did have a couple shots as well towards the end that just missed the net. He is the shooter on that line, and I like that he's on that second power play. He's really a shooter on that second unit as well. Let's recap some stuff here. I'll start with some shot props, just kind of roll through. I know we have a lot. I'm just going to roll through my top one. So like Pasternak, DeBrusk, if he's at 2.5, I don't like 3.5. I like Matt Zuccarello. I like Boone Jenner. I like Gostisbehere. I like Cole Caulfield. He's juiced, but you can put him in there with Nichushkin. You can put him in there with Crosby. I like Alex Tuck. I like Rasmus Dahlin. I like Matthew Tkachuk, Gustav Forsling, Jack Hughes, Trocheck. I don't know. I may do just like Laine goal or something. Like his first game back, I don't know how much he'll shoot, but I do like Laine against Arizona. Stamkos, Kempe juice, put him into a parlay. Jack Eichel, Riley Smith. Kubalik for a point, Jack Hughes for an assist, Jack Eichel for an assist, Alex Tuck point, Toffoli shots, and I'll just kind of leave it at that. Guys, this is a lot going on here. I'm gonna have a lot in the FTN bet tracker. All right, we the floor is yours, the mic is yours. Let's go. What you got?
I got a feeling this is going to become tradition, and some weeks it'll be good, and some weeks I'll look like I don't know what hockey is. But here we go. Keller, Krause, Jenner, Chickenoff, Pasta, DeBrusk, Robertson, Sagan, Larkin, Perron, Hughes, Palat, Caulfield, Gallagher, Kaprizov, Zuccarello, McKinnon, Nichushkin, Kreider, Lafreniere, Tkachuk, Verhaeghe, Athanasiou, Domi, Lindholm, Toffoli, Gensel if he plays, Rust, Skinner, Middlestat. That's my big bet. One of my big bets. We've got Schwartz and Burakovsky, Eichel, Stevenson, Hurdle, Barabanov. That's my other big bet. Point, Stamkos, Fiala, Moore. And my biggest bet of the day is Brandon Hagel, plus 290 to score playing on that top line, playing on the top, and the second power play on the point.
Love it. I absolutely love it. Fantastic stuff there. I will wrap up with some goal scorers as well here. I think that we'll see Patrick Laine score tonight. I'm in on Patrick Laine. Jenner was the guy that I was leaning, but I will go with Patrick Laine in that game. I think Matt Zuccarello and Cole Caulfield score. I like Jack Hughes on the Detroit side. I like Dominic Kubalik. I think we'll see a goal from Valeri Nichushkin, and I think we'll see a goal from Alex Lafreniere. For Florida, I am in on Matthew Tkachuk. I also think Sam Bennett is interesting as well. I got a goal from Sidney Crosby and Tyler Toffoli. Alex Tuck continues to score. Oliver Bjorkstrand scores for Seattle. And then Vegas, I got Jonathan Marchessault to find the back of the net. And I will be rolling, of course, with Mr. David Pastrnak, but it's not breaking news. We're out of here, guys. Appreciate it. We went a little bit long, but we saw you guys hanging out in the chat. We wanted to roll through absolutely everything. If you can smash that like button, do us a solid. You have any questions, you're watching a replay, you guys know the drill. Leave them there in the comments section. I'll always circle back before a puck drop, answer any of those questions that you guys do have. FTNbets.com for all of the picks from everybody over at FTN. Promo code Meaney. Save yourself a little bit of cash. Enjoy the hockey tonight, and we'll be back on Thursday. Have a good one. Cheers.